Welcome to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yael Keown, mum, FIFO wife, MBA, coffee lover, survivor superfan, and creator of the email experience. In Easy Email Marketing, you'll benefit from my nearly 20 years experience, where I'll be teaching you all the tips, tricks, and insider info on how to create feel-good, non-spammy experiences for your subscribers. Let's get stuck in. Welcome back to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yael Keown, and today is a bit of a part B of a previous episode that was very, very popular, still ranks very well, so I thought I would revisit it again, and that is by sharing 7 more email marketing hacks. If there's something I am not short of, it is tips and tricks and shortcuts and different ideas of things you can do with your email marketing to make it better, to make it more engaging, streamlined, time-saving, and of course, help you get extra sales. And of course, we are always seeing improvements in the email marketing software we use. So there are constant things we can be layering in. So today I am going to be sharing 7 of my current favorite email marketing hacks, which will help you improve your email marketing engagement and save you a ton of time. So let's get stuck straight in. Hack number 1 is to redirect to a second form after someone signs up to your list or your newsletter or your lead magnet. So in the past, I have shared about having a third field at sign up. So that is where you have their name, email address, and perhaps a drop down or a checkbox where people choose their stage or their interests or their category, or give you a key date with which you can use to segment and create more personalized experiences, or just have some great research data. Well, this takes it a step further by redirecting to a second form. So once they submit that first form with the email address, they will still be subscribed and they will still trigger off getting their lead magnet or their welcome series, whatever it is they signed up for. But immediately it gives them an option to provide extra details. So this could be to share their preferences of what emails they want to receive from you. People absolutely want to have a bit of say over what emails they get, and showing this straight up automatically puts you in, like, they start to think of you really, really well, because it shows that you care about their email address. It shows you care about what you're sending them, that you're not just going to be blasting them for the sake of blasting them. Or you could phrase it in a different way and ask them a couple of quick questions. Again, we want to keep this nice and brief. Maybe it's 2 drop-down questions that are similar to those I said before. What stage are they at? What are they interested in? A key date that they could base, that you might want to base something on. And then maybe you might have a more free-form, quality-based question, which is optional. Of course, the whole form is optional, but this third one could be, what is your biggest challenge or frustration right now? Or how could I help you best? And if you get responses to that straight away, that is amazing data and a great launching point to talk to someone. So having this second form not only gives you extra data, not only enables you to create better segmenting, but it also provides a step for you to take and further engage that contact in perhaps a more personal one-on-one way. Hack number 2 is to resend your lead magnet to unopens. So a common strategy taught in email marketing is to resend emails to unopens because someone might not have opened your email just because they were busy at the time, and it can improve your open rate slightly. Now, I'm not a huge fan of using this strategy for every single email you send, and in fact, it's something that I would only use very sparingly. But one space where I see it is very, very valuable to use is at your delivery. So when someone signs up to a lead magnet, some sort of download, we've got to question, they received it, they didn't open it, why? Obviously, it is something they're interested in, something they are curious about. So that is something where I might say a day later or 2 days later, say, hey, checking in, I saw you got this lead magnet, you requested it, but you didn't open it. So you're just delivering it again. Maybe the first one had like pictures and lots of different things going on. The second one could be more streamlined and simple to increase the chances of deliverability, just in case it ended up in a spam folder somewhere or the promos tab that encourages it to come through. So that is a helpful little situation where you might want to use the resend to unopens, and that is very, very simple to set up. Just in that delivery automation, you just have a wait time, then you have a split where you say, did they open that email? And if not, you send it again. Hack number 3 is in the email content itself, and that is to add a pre-header banner. So I've talked about this a bit in the sandwich sales strategy. So this does pair really well with your PS statement. But you know how you see on websites, you get that big bar across the top of web pages that might be announcing the Black Friday sales that are going on right now. It could be for a sign up, it could be a countdown timer, a huge range of things, and it just gets that attention because it's right at the top, but it doesn't invade on the space of the page. It normally would have some sort of call to action or link for someone to click. So this is also a great piece of real estate that you can use in your emails. So while your body content might be more focused around text and its paragraphs and it explains key points, the pre-header banner is a great space where you can just say, here's the key takeaway. Here is the call to action. This is our promo that we got going on at the moment. And it just provides that context, but it's not taking over the email. It's not the point of the email. So this pre-header banner can relate to the content of the email. So if your email is leading to a call to action, it can reinforce it, or it can be totally separate. It can just be something about, hey, shop now, or something about a new feature that you want to release, or to say, here's the link to my latest blog. Whatever it is that you want people to take action on, you can put up the top, but it doesn't detract from the email content itself. Hack number 4 is also on email design, but this is all about creating an everything template. This is a core strategy I teach inside Engaging Emails as a way to make it super quick and easy for you to create emails and design emails that look good, that meet accessibility guidelines, that meet deliverability guidelines, and don't take you hours and hours to create every single time. So first, I recommend you have a brand template, which has got your key brand elements in. This is one that you don't touch. So this is your colors, your fonts, your spacing, your buttons, etc. Then the everything template is where you take that and then you go and build everything. So every single content block that you use regularly, from your introductory text to your unsubscribe footer, your social media icons, anything that's a call to action you're regularly using, anytime you feature a blog, any time you link to resources inside your membership, whatever it is that you are doing regularly, you create all of them. Now, this will be a really, really big template, but it's all there in one spot that you can go in and edit and update and continue to add to time and time again. Now, from that, of course, you can convert that into more everyday style templates for some more common scenarios, or you can also go in and save every single content block. So most software has this ability to save those content blocks. Either, Clivia calls it universal content. It could be save content blocks. MailerLite has another name, and it is just where you can save them. And then when you're building emails, even if you started with the most bare bones email, you can just drag those saved content blocks in. So literally, it is just like picking items out of your wardrobe, changing a few words, maybe changing an image and a hyperlink, and you are done. So that is hack number 4, creating an everything template. Hack number 5 is to send different versions of an email to different groups. So our first tip was all about asking a couple of questions, categorizing questions about, what someone's interested in, their stages, etc. So you might want to send different versions of the same email or entirely different emails to these different groups based around what will help them most. So you can do this in automations by using splits. So this is where you would say, did you choose interest A or interest B? If you chose interest A, I'm sending you this email. If you chose interest B, I'm sending you this email. You can also use this for your regular campaigns by creating segments or if using tags. So where you say, okay, this campaign, I'm going to send it to tag A, interest A, and then this version I'm sending to interest group B. That is one way. Of course, that ends up with lots more emails because we're sending it to distinct groups. A third way, which you can use in both automations and in your regular campaigns, is by using conditional content blocks. This is where email marketing gets so powerful. So this is where you can set conditions on whether someone can see a particular content block or not. So you could have 2 different versions of text for 2 different audiences in the one email. And then you just say, see this section of text if you are interest A, or see this version of text if you're interest B. Now, I wouldn't do this if the whole email content is different, but it is very, very helpful for perhaps the call to action blocks. Maybe you have something like I've done this before where, okay, I've got a more general advice-based email, and then I've got a section like, here's how you can apply it to your e-commerce business. And then I've got one that's, here's how you can apply this to your service-based business. And you can put different options there. Or the most obvious scenario is a sales calls to action. So you don't want to be selling something to someone that they have already purchased, right? So, but that might mean that you don't want those people necessarily to miss out on the value of that email. So what you can do is have the email with all your wonderful content, and then at the bottom you could say, buy this thing, or join the email experience. And that would have a call to action to join the program. Or to buy your thing or to book a service. Then you could have just have that as is and just say do not show to people who have purchased. Or you could have a second version. So an example could be people who haven't purchased join the email experience. Or it could be if they are already an email experience member, maybe they get, if you want to learn more, I dive deep into this in the email experience in this module. So that is some ways you can really, really tailor your emails to different audiences by just adding a couple of little rules, and it saves a lot of if-else scenarios and what-ifs and just makes your email life so much easier. Hack number 6 is to use trigger tags, or you could be called groups in MailerLite, or you could use fields if you don't have tags in your software. And these are for your automations. So one of the ways that email marketing can get really, really confusing and overwhelming over time is you end up with a lot of automations and you don't know how they connect and who is getting what. So I find by having trigger tags, you can easily connect different automations or flows. You can connect your integrations like to Zapier, to Calendly, to a form software, and just have a tag which says trigger, and then the name of the automation. And that goes at the top of an automation to trigger it off, to begin it. And then at the end of that automation, you either remove that tag if you want to enable someone to go through it more than once, and you might add the tag for the next step, which could be trigger welcome. So an example where you might want to use this is also with your routing automations. And I had a whole episode 132 around this, is where, say, you have something coming in from a Zapier connection and you've got a lot of data and you want to update different fields or put people in different lists or send different emails to people based around the fields. Well, you can have first a trigger tag for Zapier and you just call it Zap, and then give it the name of the Zap. Then you go in and add your filters, you add your questions, you move people to where they need to go, but you don't send any emails. And then at the end, depending on which path, you can say trigger this welcome, which is specific to that tag. It sounds a bit complicated as I try to explain it verbally. Obviously, this is something a lot easier explained visually, but hopefully you get the sense that by just adding this little connection, it's much easier for you to see what connects to what. And if you ever needed to change something, you know exactly where to go. And finally, hack number 7 is something that's not available to everyone. Sorry, but it is one that I am obsessed with at the moment. And that is sending direct one-on-one emails in automations. So this is an active campaign feature, and only if you've got the sales pipeline plugin, because technically it's like a sales CRM tool, right? It's where instead of sending a marketing email, it is sending an email on your behalf as if it was coming from your Outlook or your Gmail, etc. So it looks like a personalized email. There's not the unsubscribe there because it isn't a marketing email. It's sent as if it is sent from you. So this is really, really handy for any follow-ups and onboarding. So you don't need to worry so much about subscription statuses of people if they haven't signed up to your list or they're unsubscribed in the past, but they are but they have booked a service, and you want to let them know how onboard them and do all those transactional things that need doing. It's also great as a sales follow-up tool. So as part of the lead process, like if someone is showing they're really engaged and you want to reach out to them, you can send out these emails and it looks exactly like a one-on-one. And if someone replies, it can go to your inbox and you just continue the conversation there. So powerful, so many different applications. I haven't even thought of all of them yet, but it is something that definitely is worth looking into if you have that feature. So there you have it, 7 more email marketing hacks you can use. Let's do a quick recap. Number 1 is to redirect to a second form after sign up, which can be preferences or just a couple of quick questions. Number 2 is to resend your lead magnet to unopens. Number 3 is to add a pre-header banner for any important announcements or calls to action. Hack number 4 is to create an everything template with tons of saved content blocks that you can just drag and drop handily into any email. Number 5 is to send different versions of an email to different groups, whether you're using conditional content splits and segments or conditional content blocks to send exactly the same email, but just slightly different versions. Number 6 is to use trigger tags to connect your automations and to connect integrations and just make your automations life so much easier. And number 7 is to use direct one-on-one emails for some key sales follow-ups. So if these hacks are something you have enjoyed, then I do highly recommend you check out Engaging Emails, which is just lesson after lesson after lesson of tips and tricks to make your email more engaging. I talk about this through 7 email engagement drivers: design, strategic content, deliverability, opens and clicks, sales, automations, and segmenting. And I give you all the step-by-steps, all the tips, all the tricks on how to get everything set up. If you want to learn more about that, you can head to yaohyun.com/engage. Thank you so much for joining me today. I would love to hear from you what you've enjoyed from this episode or what you want to know more about in future episodes. Let me know over on Instagram. I'm at yaohyun, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Easy Email Marketing. It's an absolute honour that you chose to listen. If you love this episode, then it would mean the world to me if you could leave a review so that others can find this podcast and make their email marketing easy too. Finally, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a thing. Until next time, have an awesome day and make sure to keep showing up and serving in those inboxes.